What's good, guys? It's Sam here, and I wanted to talk about the top 4 ways to save 50% of your income. So if you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I save around 65% of what I make on a gross basis. That means gross and net just means gross is before taxes and net would be after taxes. So if this is your first time here, make sure you press that subscribe button and that bell notification so YouTube will notify you when I post a new video. So to get into it, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, in 2016, the average household, I wrote some notes down here, spent, so I'm going to go in ascending order of what these things are and how much in terms of a percentage of the total budget it is, in terms of what percentage each one of these categories takes up, right? And then we're going to talk about these and how they apply and how I've applied these to my life. Okay, so at number 4, we've got transportation, and that's about 12% of the average person's income. So we're going to run through an example. It's going to be based on somebody who makes $50,000 a year. So if you make more, then just fucking adjust the numbers. If you make less, adjust the numbers. Like, it's possible. I've been on both sides, way less than $50,000 and way more than $50,000. Like, it's definitely possible. And by way, I mean like 51. So, just kidding. But that's number 4, transportation. And transportation includes not only the cost of the vehicle, the gasoline, the maintenance of the vehicle, insurance, or like say if you were to take like Uber or Lyft or public transportation. It's just an average, right? So if you make $50,000 a year, that's $6,000 a year, or about $500 a month. And you're like, well, I pay $200 a month for my car payment, or $300 a car, $300 a month for my car payment, and my insurance is only this much. It's a fucking average. Do the math. Figure if you actually went through, and added up all the gasoline that you've purchased every single month throughout the entire year, all of the maintenance that you've had throughout the year, you're financing your vehicle. That means there's finance charges, the maintenance on the vehicle, the insurance if you've taken Uber or Lyft, or any of the public transportation. All that together, I believe you would be shocked at the number that you're paying on a monthly basis in terms of your transportation cost. And so I guess I'll talk about each one as I go through. No, I'll do it at the end. Okay. So I'll talk about all of these, and then I'll go through and apply each one of them in terms of how I use this data. Okay, number 3, we have taxes, right? And you might be like, well, Sam, I can't fucking do anything about your taxes. We'll get into that. There's a shitload of things you can do for your taxes. Okay, that's about 14%. So again, if you make $50,000, 14%, and I rounded these down. If it was like if it was a lower number, I rounded down. But these are actually, it was over 14%, so 14% and change. But that's $7,000 a year. That's about $600 a month in taxes you're paying, right? Just think about these, right? So you can put it into perspective. On a monthly basis, $600 in taxes. We'll get into how you could potentially reduce these, right? Number 2, now we have food, entertainment, clothes, alcohol. That's all categorized as one area. Okay, so that's like going out to eat, also the food you buy for your house, the entertainment, whatever you do for entertainment, the clothes and shit you buy for yourself, if you smoke, or what else? Going out to the bar, all that fucking shit, right? That's 18% of the average American's annual amount that they spend. 18% of $50,000, if you make $50,000, is $9,000 on an annual basis. But I think it's more impactful when you think about it on a monthly basis. That's $750 a month that the average person spends on those categories. So just keep in mind some of these numbers and don't completely disregard them just because these numbers are not what you make. Just go through and do the same fucking calculation based on what you make. If you make $63,000, take these numbers, the 12, 14, 18, and the next category, multiply them times your annual salary, see how much it is, or put in the actual fucking data. Okay, next, and this is the number one category in terms of what people spend their money on, is housing. So, according to the BLS, which is the Bureau of Labor Statistics in 2016, was about 25%. So it's actually over 25%, but about 25%. So if you have a salary of, if you make $50,000 a year, 25% of that, $12,500. That means, on average, you're paying about $1,050 per month on housing. Okay, so then there's just a more of a definition here. And it has so the mortgage or rent, property taxes, maintenance, utilities, services on the house, products, furnishings, and appliances on a monthly basis. Okay, yeah, pretty much that's about it. Just what you spend on your housing shit. That includes buying shit for your house, and the taxes and insurance and all the other pieces that come along with it. Maybe you rent. Okay, whatever it is you pay for fucking rent. Okay, and and now apply those, right? So remember, I'm saving 63 to 65% of what I'm making on an annual basis, on a gross basis. So that's before taxes. And we'll get into that. So we'll start at the bottom again, transportation. So that's $6,000 a year or $500 a month that the average person spends if you make $50,000. So what I did, I have a 2001 or 2000 or 2002 Volvo S40. It runs fine. The heat works. The air conditioning works. There's it's not anything special. It shakes a little bit. It doesn't fucking matter to me. It drives me around. And I literally don't give a fuck what you think of what I drive or my mom. It doesn't matter to me at all. I have my own priorities, and that's it. You don't need to drive a BMW to impress your friends that you're tired of after fucking a month and a half of fucking driving it, and then switching it out every 2 years or 5 years or whatever it is that you decide you want to do, or leasing, if you have other goals. So that's what I did. Not only do you get that lower, but then you're like, well, Sam, you're just going to have to pay a higher fucking maintenance costs. I bought the car for $2,000 or less than $2,000 or something, and I put $1,000 into it to just do some work on it, right? So there's $3,000. That's it. And I pay I don't know, it's a ridiculously low amount. It's $30 or $25 or $28 or something a month for my insurance. So say if it's 30 times 12 is $360 on an annual basis. I mean, that's not that much money. That's $330. If I were to say fill up once a week, which I don't do, say maybe if I fill up about 3.5 times per month and I put in on average about $30 times 12 months, that's $1,260. So that's $3,360. Okay. Plus that's $4,600 right there. I own the car, so next year that's going to be even less. Or if you actually wanted to do a much more thorough analysis of this, what you would do is you would actually look at that, right? So I've spent about $3,000 for my car. That includes the maintenance. And if you took that, I'm going to probably have it for 24 months, 36 months, whatever, however long you think you're going to have your vehicle. We'll say I'm going to have mine for, say, 36 months, right? That's 3 years. So that's $1,000 per year. So instead of $4,600, that's actually $3,600, right? Because you're looking at the entire time period. So $3,600, and let's just add in another $1,000 of, you know, oil changes, which is not what it is. So say I pay $60 every 2 months for an oil change and something else miscellaneous that happens every, you know, once in a while. So we've got $3,600 roughly plus 60. I'm just gonna pull it up here times 6 plus 3,600. That's $4,000, right? How much did we say it was for the transportation? $6,000. So if you take the $4,000 divided by 6,000, I'm at 66%, right? I just cut 34% off of my annual amount that I spend on transportation just by making that choice, right? And that's money that I can put towards something that I enjoy. If you enjoy your vehicle, then do you, and get your fucking vehicle and stop wasting money on other dumb shit. But it doesn't really matter to me in terms of like the vehicle I'm driving. As long as it gets me there, I don't give a shit. What, you think it says something about the person? Then clearly you need to look in the mirror, bro. Number 3, which is taxes. This is the interesting one, which I think I almost want to leave towards the end. Yeah, I'll do that one at the end. Okay, so number 2 is 18%, and that's for the food, entertainment, clothes, and alcohol. $9,000 or $750 a month at a $50,000 salary. Also, by the way, my numbers are different than this. I make more than $50,000. By the way, stay tuned if you want to. I've got a big announcement coming. Probably at the very end of February or the beginning of March. So stay tuned for that if you are interested. Follow along. I'm documenting my journey of getting to $100 a day online. And I'm telling you what I'm doing to get there. Also, some of these decisions that I'm making along the way or that I have made to put myself in a certain place where I can travel every other month or every month. Okay, so get back into it. So number 2 category is food, entertainment, clothes, and alcohol. 18%. So 18% of a $50,000 budget comes to $9,000 a year or $750 a month. As I mentioned, I make quite a bit more than $50,000. So $9,000, right? I don't buy myself clothes. I have plenty of clothes. I don't need any clothes. I don't buy myself clothes. I don't need a new tie. I don't need socks. I don't need clothes. I don't need a new shirt to go to a wedding. I don't need to buy my fucking self anything. If you look in your closet, I will bet you money that there are plenty of pieces of clothing that you do not wear on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Or probably on an annual basis. There's probably plenty of clothes in your closet or your drawers or your attic or your fucking garage, wherever you put your shit, that you haven't worn in over a year. I don't need to buy more shit. I have plenty of shit. So I don't buy myself alcohol. Or I don't buy myself clothes. So that part of that is completely gone. It's zero. Like the only clothes that I buy are for my girlfriend because I don't mind spending money on her. I don't have any desire. I don't have any need to buy myself clothing. Alcohol. I don't really drink. I did that a lot when I was younger, and I just don't have any desire to. I have other things that I would rather spend my money on in terms of being intentional in terms of how I spend what I make. Entertainment. I guess you could classify the gym as entertainment. That's what I like doing. I don't really I don't have any desire to go out. I don't have any desire to go partying. That's not what I enjoy. which if you enjoy that kind of thing, then take a holistic approach and be self-aware in terms of understanding if you spend money over here, you can't do what you really want to do over here. So understand what those things are that you like doing. It's pretty fucking simple. And food. I meal prep. That is mainly because of fitness. And I want to know what I'm consuming and roughly like the macros, even though I'm not counting macros right now, just for the protein consumption. That's the only thing that I kind of track. But a side effect of meal prepping every single day, 7 days a week, all the time, is that I don't spend a lot of money on food. I don't go out to eat. If I go out to eat, it's with my girlfriend, and we live in different states. So I see her once, maybe twice a month, and we don't even go out every time she's around. So I don't spend a lot of money on food. I would say right now it's probably less than $400 a month for all my food expenses. I don't really spend money on entertainment. I do not have cable. I don't have Netflix. I don't have Amazon. I'm not a consumer in the sense that probably most of the people watching this video are. I prefer to spend money on things that I enjoy, and buying a new sweatshirt is not something I enjoy. This sweatshirt I don't even know how old this sweatshirt is, and it works fine. Like, I like it. It probably has holes in it. I'm sure it's stained. It's probably coming apart. But again, like, I don't give a shit if somebody judges me because of what I'm wearing. Like, it doesn't matter to me. It says more about that person, and I feel bad for, like, you don't even have empathy for understanding that, like, they feel that way, right? Like, they were brought up differently. And if they don't understand the things that make them happy or fulfilled in life, like, that sucks for them, right? And when I hear comments like that, or about the car or like the house, like, you know, it sucks. And like, if that's what they love, then cool, like, more power to them. But a lot of times they're not fucking happy. You know, ask yourself that. Like, what do you do, right? Okay, so last category, and then we jump to taxes, is housing, and how much 25% for the housing. So my number is significantly higher than this in terms of my income, but if you were to use the $50,000 amount, so basically, right, $750 a month on just miscellaneous food and entertainment and going out and all that shit. I don't go out. Mine's probably less than half of that, $750. So if I was at $400, I think last week I spent about $68 in groceries for the week. So you figure 75 times 4 is what, $350 or something like that. What, 400 minus 100, so it's $300 for the month. So $300 for the month in terms of food would round it up to $350. So I'm more than 50% in terms of a discount on that category. And remember, my income is a lot higher than $50,000. So the last category is housing. 25% of $50,000 is $12,500, which is about $1,050 per month. And you may pay more than that, but it's relative to whatever you fucking make, right? And you may be married, so if you're paying $4,000 a month and you make $120,000 and your wife makes $74,000, like, it's a fucking relative. That's why it's a percent. So downsize your life in terms of understanding what's important to you, right? Like, if you want to retire early, I'm going to be retiring early. If you want to retire early, or if you want to travel more, or if you want anything that requires fucking money, understand that any dollar you spend elsewhere takes it away from the thing that you want, right? So that's why it's important to understand yourself and what you want. The last category here, which is taxes at 14%, and this is probably my favorite category, because if you want to make more money, or if you want to have more money, and most people say make, but you can have more money without making more money, and that's through the reduction of taxes, right? $7,000, that's $600 a month roughly. And there's plenty of ways to do that. I have, I'll tell you what I do, but you can do your own. I have a drone, right? And I take photography for some people on the side, and that's a business, right? So if I travel somewhere to take pictures for marketing, or say I'm practicing, or say I'm going somewhere and I take the drone and I'm talking to people about business, or I use those pictures for my marketing of the drone business, those are business expenses. So one of the things that I like to do is when I travel and I bring the drone with me so I can practice flying in other areas, and so I talking about business, I get to write those off. So when I travel to other countries, or when I travel back to New York, or to see family and do business at the same time, I get to write those off. And I'm not spending any extra money. I already had the drone. I'm already going to be going on these trips. But I get to write off a portion of them, which reduces that $600 a month. That's one of the most fun categories to take care of. And if you think you don't know how to start a business or something to make money, like, you can do anything. You can go join an MLM. Which is like the networking marketing industry. You can go do anything that you even slightly enjoy doing. It's not that complicated, and you do not even have to really make money from it. You need to talk to an accountant, right? I'm not an accountant. I'm just a dude on the internet who's filming himself, right?